Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Living Wisdom and Dharma World. The mind is a gateway to reality, creation, and freedom. In Buddhism, the mind is not just a passive experience, but the very foundation of how we perceive and interact with the world. Today, we'll explore the transformative power of the mind through the lens of Buddhist concepts, meditation, impermanence, mindfulness, and enlightenment, and discover how these ancient teachings can lead to peace, understanding, and transformation. In Buddhism, the mind is central to all experience. The ancient teachings emphasize that our thoughts shape our reality. The Buddha taught, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This means that our mental patterns, our beliefs, and our perspective are not simply passive observations. They actively influence how we experience the world and how we interact with suffering and joy. The mind holds the power to either lead us toward freedom or bind us in cycles of suffering. Understanding how the mind functions is one of the core teachings of Buddhism. Buddhist philosophy suggests that ignorance, the lack of awareness about the nature of impermanence, suffering, and self, keeps us trapped in cycles of craving and aversion. In the Buddhist path, wisdom begins with understanding that life is impermanent, that all things arise and pass away, and that our mind has the potential to liberate us from suffering. The mind is powerful because it can either attach to fleeting desires or find peace through understanding the transient nature of existence. One of the key Buddhist concepts that helps us understand the mind is impermanence, the idea that all things, including our thoughts, emotions, and circumstances, are in a constant state of change. When we cling to desires, expectations, or fears, we are resisting this natural flow of change. This clinging creates suffering. The mind, when left unchecked, tends to resist change and dwell on the past or fear the future. But Buddhist teachings remind us that, through awareness, mindfulness, and meditation, we can develop clarity and learn to let go. The mind has the potential to free itself by recognizing that all things are impermanent. This insight allows us to respond to life with equanimity rather than suffering. The nature of the mind is like the surface of a lake. When disturbed by winds or external conditions, anger, desire, or attachment, it becomes choppy and unclear. But when we practice mindfulness and meditation, the surface can become calm and still, reflecting reality as it is. Buddhist teachings emphasize that by observing our thoughts without judgment, we can create space and find balance within ourselves. The path of mindfulness and meditation. Buddhism provides a path for training the mind. One of the most important practices is mindfulness, being fully present and aware of each moment without judgment. Mindfulness is not about denying experience, but observing it as it is. When we are mindful, we observe our thoughts and emotions with kindness, allowing them to arise and pass without attaching to them or pushing them away. In mindfulness meditation, we cultivate awareness by focusing on simple elements like the breath. This simple, natural act of returning attention to our breath brings us back into the present moment. Buddha taught, "You should sit quietly and watch your mind as you would a bird flying through the sky." The goal is not to suppress thoughts, but to observe them with awareness, allowing them to come and go without creating new stories or patterns of attachment. When you cultivate a daily meditation practice, even for just a few minutes each day, you begin to strengthen your mind. The effects are transformative: less reactivity, greater clarity, emotional balance, and improved peace. Buddhist philosophy tells us that by practicing meditation, we can train our minds to experience life with less suffering and greater wisdom. The concept of dependent origination and mental freedom. Another important Buddhist idea is dependent origination, the understanding that all things arise in dependence upon causes and conditions. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything is interconnected. Our thoughts are no exception. Every thought, emotion, or reaction is the result of past conditioning, experiences, and external factors. Understanding this can create compassion for ourselves and others. This understanding provides a path toward mental freedom. When we recognize that suffering arises from patterns of craving, aversion, and ignorance, patterns that are conditioned by causes, we can interrupt these cycles by becoming aware of them. Through mindfulness and meditation, we can recognize our habitual mental patterns and respond to situations with greater wisdom rather than simply reacting out of conditioning. We can choose a different path, a path of compassion, kindness, and awareness. Practical application: how to harness the mind's power daily. So, how can we apply these Buddhist concepts in our daily lives? Here are a few practical steps. 1. Practice daily mindfulness. Whether it's through meditation, mindful walking, eating, or simply being fully present in each activity, mindfulness allows you to observe your thoughts without judgment. 2. Meditation. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes a day. Focus on your breath, your body, or a simple mantra. Allow your mind to find stillness. 3. Reflect on impermanence. Remind yourself that change is natural. Let go of attachment to desires and fears by reflecting on the impermanence of life. 4. Practice compassion. Recognize the interconnectedness of all beings. Every action you take affects the web of life. Choose kindness. 5. Learn to let go. Recognize patterns of craving or aversion. When you feel attachment to an idea or fear, practice releasing it. This is the path to mental freedom. The mind holds incredible power. With awareness, intention, and meditation, we can transform suffering into wisdom, fear into peace, and confusion into clarity. The power of the mind is always available to us. Buddhist philosophy invites us to understand its nature, train it with compassion and mindfulness, and discover the freedom that comes from living with awareness. Thank you for joining us on this journey into Buddhist wisdom. If this video inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights. Let's explore the path to a healthier, happier mind together.